guys, it's Richard Butler here, and I'm back with some more thoughts on the Insta360 Go. This is something that I received yesterday. Well, when I say received, I bought it yesterday. And I also received this handy little case because I'm a little bit concerned about the durability of the Insta360 Go if you're putting it into a backpack or a rucksack or into your bag or pocket. So the case is pretty good. I'll put a link to it in the this always gets stuck up here. I'll put a link into in the comments for this case. It's quite a simple case. It holds everything. And for example, I have my nice medallion here, which I'll put on. Okay, it's pretty good. So that goes into the top pocket. And then in the other section here, you have the Insta360 itself. So what are my thoughts about the Insta360 so far? Well, the first thought is I'm a little bit cautious when opening this because it takes a little bit of time to open it and then just taking out the camera. Now, I've heard a few people mention that it is quite slippy, and it is a little bit slippy. If your hands were in any way wet, it's a little bit slippy. But I found it's really handy because what I've actually done is I put it just into that. This has your standard mount for a tripod, so you can stick it into any tripod that you have. I haven't actually walked around with it on a pendant, but for example, today I was walking around with the tripod in my hand like this, and I was actually talking on the phone, and a guy came up to me and he was asking for directions, and I don't think he even noticed the camera. So that's the first thing I really like about it. Because of the size, people don't notice it. Now, I don't mean that because then I can spy on people. I mean, it's very unobtrusive. So I have the Insta360 Go, and it's much bigger, and you can see it when you have it on the selfie stick. Whereas this, I could be just doing a voice recording. The second thing I think is really good is the stabilization, of course, is excellent because it is from Insta360. They have their built-in stabilization, and something this small that can give you such good stabilization. And when you move the camera around, it's very much like for me anyway, it's very much like a panning motion that comes up. Now, the results, actually the other thing, I think I said it to you in the other video, is just poking this out, I would be a bit wary that it would drop as well. And then you just click it in there, put it in there, and it's constantly charging, which is great. So like AirPods, which they resemble a little, it's constantly charging. And then to charge it, the case, you just charge there. Now, the purpose of the Insta360, or from what I can see so far and from my usage, is it is for small, short videos. So it's not going to be your main production camera. It's just going to be for example, I was thinking I'm going to Dublin next week, and just for clips, getting into the taxi, grabbing the bags, getting on the plane. I've seen a couple of videos like that. Hooking the camera onto the window as we take off, landing. They're just quick clips. Now, the idea as well is that you would put together a whole day in maybe 3 minutes of just clips, or 5 minutes of clips. So that's very handy. I haven't used the app too much. And I was talking to Insta360 today about the app because I didn't understand some of the functionality in it, because they do say that you can use the app and you can take up to 24 hours, I think, of clips. And I was going, well, how does that actually work? So the way that works is, and I will do a full review of the app, is that when you have the camera connected to your phone, you enable Bluetooth. And from the Bluetooth connection, you then have some extra options that you can see, and that allows you to do what they call interval shooting. And what you can do with interval shooting, and this is what interests me, is you put the camera, let's say you chest mount it, and then you set it to interval shooting, and you say, shoot a picture, or shoot a video, should I say, every 3 minutes. And then you give the actual duration of the video, so 15 seconds, 30 seconds. Now, one of the things that I did find, which is really interesting, is that 30 seconds is actually a long time to shoot footage when you're just walking around or when you're just talking. So 15 seconds would be really interesting. So you mount it on your chest, you walk around for 2 or 3 hours, and the camera is just shooting, 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 shooting. So that will get very interesting, unexpected footage. And I will hopefully try this when I go over to Dublin, and I will show you the results of that. So Insta360 were very good. I just went onto their chat. It's not like I have some sort of inside connections there. And they explained a lot. The one thing I still, I guess, worry about or I'm concerned is that when you want to connect this up to the iPhone, the first thing you must do is you must actually take any cases off that you have, because that is not making a proper connection. But then when this is connected, if I just take this case off, when this is connected, I said in the first video, I would be afraid that that would actually break. Now, I've just connected up the phone there, and when the light comes up, when it adjusts, you can see there that it says there's no media in there, and it says local and camera. So if I just go to camera, it says there's no media, because one of the great things that you can do there, sorry that you can't see that, one of the great things that you can do is that in the settings, you can say, download the media directly from the camera onto the actual phone, and then delete it, so that your space is always free there. So all of your media is going to be downloaded directly onto your phone at all times. So that's very, very handy. And the great thing is that I know I've shot stuff on the Insta360, and I really only put up one video that I created on Instagram. But I've shot a lot of footage, but then you don't use it. Whereas with the Insta360 Go, it looks like I will use the footage more. And the quality of the footage, I'm quite pleased with. Now, I want to do something a little bit more professional, because today I randomly walked around Barcelona and I got some footage, and it was okay, but it wasn't very interesting footage. So this is the other thing, that suddenly you start thinking, well, maybe my life isn't actually that interesting, which is a bit sad, really. But, when I travel, that's when I'll be using it. And then I sat down, I was going to a meeting around 6 p.m. or 6:30, and I sat down on one of the many benches in Barcelona, and I just filmed some shots of the street. And it didn't come out the worst, to be honest. It wasn't dark, it was that kind of twilighty type of moment during the day, and it was okay. The clarity wasn't, of course, 100%, because with the lights it gave a lot of sort of a flash, but it was okay. So day 2, my impressions of the Insta360 Go are very positive. From yesterday, and I've linked the video up there, you can see it. From yesterday, I have to say, I was impressed with the audio on the actual Insta360. I thought it was very, very good. For the size, I thought it was quite clear. I think you could hear it. I've never really used the audio on the Insta360 Go, Insta360X, but certainly on the Insta360 Go, it was pretty acceptable. And I think the picture quality was pretty acceptable as well, for it being a small camera and for it being what it is, which is I think a social media camera. So for example, I have, and I'll link to it as well, I have my Instagram account, and I put this video up there, and okay, the quality is not going to be very good, obviously, when you're seeing it on my screen here, but the actual, like, look at the movement there. The movement, that was just on a handheld tripod, and you'll see when I get up, and you'll see when it goes into the next clip, that the movement was pretty steady. It looked pretty good to me. Okay, this is not, you're not going to film your masterpiece on it. Now, this is obviously me walking. I don't want to state the obvious. And, professional YouTubers and professional cinematographers are going to say, now watch the way that pans. And I was just moving the tripod like that. Professional YouTubers are going to say, well, the colors might be a bit washed out, the detail might be a bit gone. But if you're doing vlogging, or if you're putting stuff on Instagram, I think this is the perfect camera. I think so far, I think it works really, really well. Now, my Instagram handle is 360-day challenge. So you can find me there, and you can obviously subscribe and like it. I'll put a link in the description. But I was happy enough with that quality. Okay, that's just gone back to the It was only like a 59-second clip from Instagram, but I was happy enough. The sound picked up well. The I Everything was good. Now the big test will be when I go to Ireland, because I think here in Barcelona, where I'm based, the weather's very sunny, so you always get good sunlight, etc. But I want to know what your questions are about the Insta360. Have you bought it? Are you thinking of buying it? What questions do you want to know? Because I want to help you with that. And I've put a couple of Amazon links. If you're in the US and you want to buy something and you want to support me, just click on the link that's there. If not, that's cool as well. But like the video, share the video if you want. Subscribe to the channel. Press the little button that has like a little bell on it, and let's start the dialogue going. All right, guys, I will talk to you very, very soon with more updates on the Insta360 Go.